I wanted to ask you, dude, so give me a timeline. You start playing music to the record deal. How long is that time frame?
You mean like
When you started playing music first, we'll call it songwriting. When you first wrote a song, from then to when you signed a record deal, how many years go by?
oh shoot. I got I came here in 2004 and I had never written a song till I moved here. And so but I started like the second week I got here. Because I heard around at the Bluebird. So, but my first pub deal I got 1 year after I started writing songs. My first record deal was like maybe 2 years after I got here, but
Okay.
I lost that record deal pretty quick too.
So
Um,
2006 was your first record deal-ish?
yeah, 2006, 2007 ish. Uh, was my first record deal. It was with Mercury, with James Stroud.
Yeah,
He was my producer,
they were
but
rocking.
yeah, but he got dropped. Him and this guy named Luke Lewis.
Yeah.
They kind of split ways, and when they split ways, everybody that James Stroud had signed got dropped, and that was in the middle of my first record. So I had
Oh,
like
wow.
half a record that got shelved. It didn't get put out. That was kind of my welcome to the music bit. It was like,
Yep.
this is how it goes.
Hey, by the way, how long do I have you? You got 10 minutes? You
Dude,
got
I got no time. I got an
Okay,
hour.
cool.
So
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So 2006-ish, you get a record deal, you make half a record, you get dropped. Do you have that half a record still?
It's somewhere. Yeah. It was actually in my dad died like 3 years ago, and it was in his truck. He was one of those guys who was always like, why don't you just put out that old record, and
Yeah, my
I
dad
was like,
too.
Dad, it didn't work like that. But yeah,
Why you
man,
gotta record again? You already
I
got your
know
record.
he was like, those are bangers, man. Just put out the old stuff. But no, I remember Allison Jones called me. It was right after Christmas. She called me in January, and I was like, oh, what you calling me for? And she was like, I got a box of my things, and I'm fired, and you're fired, and everybody's fired. It was like, oh,
Mm.
okay, so what do I do now?
What I would have thought, because I was kind of in a similar situation, and I thought, well, I didn't think it was going to work out anyway for me. I really
Yeah,
thought that. Was like, oh, this was too good to be true anyway.
right.
So how much time goes by from then to the next record deal? Was there only two?
Well, I've had three. I mean,
Three.
I'm in my third record deal now. But
Okay.
2007 goes by. Um, Autumn House around 2009. I'm supporting the family off a publishing draw
Yep.
basically,
Yep.
and in the meantime, so I'm getting kind of a salary, obviously, that I got to pay back for writing some songs. But in 2009, a friend of mine pitched a song to Autumn House, who's with Capitol Records, for Keith Urban to cut, and she didn't think it was for Keith, but she was like, "Hey, who's this dude?" Which was funny because, man, I'm just not like, I don't, I'm not like Andre Bocelli or I just sing demo. I just would
Yeah.
make some money here and there singing some demos or singing some background, vocals here and there. I just love to write. I just love writing songs.
Yeah.
And, but she was like, I don't like this song for Keith, but who's this guy? And, she said she found me off MySpace,
Yep.
so,
It's
so
like
I gotta, so she brought Mike Dungan over, and, I just played a little, 4 or 5 song set for him and her together. And he was like, sign that guy, sign that dude. And I was like, man, you gotta be kidding me.
yeah.
I was just like, all right, whatever. And so Because you know, once you've been through it, you're like,
Yep.
oh, whatever, do your
Yeah.
thing, you know. So they signed me, and then I was on Capitol for about 4 years, man. I mean, I didn't get dropped. I didn't get dropped by them until like 2012 or 13. But they, you know, they tried a couple radio singles. I think my highest peaked at like 38. Uh, you know, I was young. I wasn't like the most coachable human ever
Sure.
to begin with. And me and Mike Dungan butted heads a lot. And, which I'm sad to say now. I really, you know, he was trying his best. And, I was probably shooting myself in the foot over there a lot. But man, just never really got it. And then they merged. You know how it is, the business of the labels. Artists are really like, they're kind of at the mercy of what's on paper and what these smart people who know about numbers decide. And when we merged, you know, there's no way EMI and Capital could sustain all their, you know, signings. So they kind of had to cut. And, you know, I was definitely an easy one to, you know, justify just kind of letting go. And, and that's when shit got hard. I mean,
So
that's,
so then you fast
yeah,
forward to how many years go by? 6 years? How 4 years?
yeah. I mean, I always had a publishing deal,
Yep.
but I always, I always had a publishing deal, but my wife was always pregnant, and so so it was like, you know, we just, our life continually, with each day that went by, it made less and less sense. Like with the loss of that Capital deal, I had to hide it for a minute because we had a a van sponsorship from a dealership in
Mm,
Texas, and I was like, man, the minute they find out I'm
yeah.
not a, you know, major record label recording artist, they're gonna come get this van. So I
I've
had
been
to
there.
hide that. Yeah, I had to hide that, and then they found out, you know, and they took it. But I got a job at Costco, uh, because man, we just needed like the benefit. You know, I mean, we were starting to lose insurance and, you know, things like that. That just a lot of security. Just, it was weird. It was like getting dropped. You're kind of like in front of everybody. You're like, oh, I'm free to do what I want. You know,
Yeah.
and then but then at home you're like, I'm free. Like, what do I do? You know, what I do
Yeah.
now? And
Like, man, I was butting heads with them anyway.
yeah,
It
and
doesn't matter.
so
This is a good thing.
exactly, and so, but man, yeah, I mean that was so yeah, like 20. Let's see, it's 2024. I met Shane in 2016. Uh, Shane McAnally. I mean, he basically, that dude single handedly, you know, kind of gave me an opportunity, you know, of a lifetime. Just kind of took me under his wing. But yeah, 2016 was the year I got sober. It was the year I got signed by Shane. It was a pivotal year
If you
year
would have
for
got
us.
saved, if you got saved, you could say I got sober
Oh, bro,
and
the
saved.
trifecta. Yeah, yeah. I didn't like Jesus. I didn't like Jesus in 2016. I was not. I was about as atheist as an atheist can get in that year. But I stopped drinking, man. I stopped drinking that year, honestly, because I mean, I just, you know, I think the hours at Costco were catching up. And
Yeah.
you know how it is, man. You know, if you have a day job and you're a musician, man, it's like
Mm.
you're up till whatever time, you know, and trying to do the family thing never really made sense with our lifestyle. But yeah, I mean, I quit one day that year. It was in October, and I thought I was just gonna die. I mean, I just woke up and was like, dude, if I get hammered another day, I don't know, something in my body just isn't doing the right thing, you know. And look, I'm no doctor, but I just stopped one day. One day turned into two, and two turned into a week, and then I kind of got addicted to sobriety, man. I was like,
Mm.
clarity.
Yeah.
I hit the gym. I was like, I couldn't lift. you know, I dove into the fitness mania, which almost it 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 damaged my marriage as much as alcohol did.
Yeah.
The whole I'm gonna look like Dwayne Johnson one day, maybe try. That was an interesting.
Then you watch him eating peanut butter and pancakes and sushi, and
Yeah,
you think, man, I got to get the gains.
I do, man.
So,
But yeah, it's funny. I traded. We still do. I mean, I trade one addiction for another every week. But man, yeah, that was 2016 was a crazy year. Um, and then yeah, I mean the worst year. I know you and I can. We have interesting battles with loss. By the way, your book was nutsola, man. You got. I mean, I uh, I hate that you're in the club you're in. And I would never really speak to you about what you've been through because I would never want. Some people have tried to talk to me about what I've been through, and I just want to punch them in the face,
mm,
just depending on the day. But man, your book is remarkable. I mean, and through that book, it's going to wreck people in the rightest way. So thanks for having the courage
mm.
to just pour that out there, bro. I
Well,
mean
thanks, buddy.
that made me see life in a much better way. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for writing that book.
Well, I appreciate that, bro. I met you. I don't know what year I met you. It was at a guitar pool. I know that. Probably 2018 ish.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but you at the time, everything you've said so far makes sense to who I met that day
Ah,
because
interesting.
you were you were doing music in a way that no one else was,
Ah.
and you didn't really care that that's what you were doing. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, this
Yeah.
is who I am. This is what I do. I don't sound like anyone else at this guitar pool, and I'm not really interested in changing my sound so that I do sound like other people at this guitar pool so that radio will play me. You had no interest in that. And yet you stood there or sat there on the stool with confidence and delivered songs in a very different way. And you were just resilient against anything that said, hey, this guy's different,
Ah.
right? That's you. That was
well,
you. Is that still you?
well, yeah, but I mean, I honestly, I selfishly, I would love to label it like resilience or perseverance. But Granger, I mean, honestly, um, I just think I'm a little. I mean, dude, for lack of a better word, I'm not that smart, man. Like I'm not. I'm kind of dumb, and I don't really like.
Nobody's buying that.
No, I'm telling you, bro, 100%. I don't know if I know how different it is. I think I just love, what I do. We all have, God makes us all just like, man, our lives and the nature and the nurture and everything kind of, that's what happens on a page. It all just kind of comes out, and we all have such different experiences in this life, and that no two of us are the same. And I don't know if I don't know if I was paying attention enough, I guess I'm saying, to even say that it was resilience. I just love, man, I just love to wake up and make something I'm passionate about. And if you're asking, is that still you? Without a doubt. I mean, I am so glad. I don't know what this life would be if God hadn't invented musical notes, and beats and sounds, because that is, I'm not really a good, like, I always did bad in English. Like, I would never want to deliver a commencement speech or whatever. But if you want to sit down and pour our hearts out on a guitar and some paper, let's freaking go. Like, all I know is that I have the patience to do that. It's not always great. I just know that I love that process, and that has been a gift to me, my marriage, I don't know what to say sometimes to my kids, but I can write a song, and I
That's
can be
great.
like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I guess what I'm getting at too is that those days when I first met you, it seemed like you were saying to the world, "This is what I do. I like
yeah.
doing what I do, and if I don't do this on a big level, I can't help it because this is just what I do." And so, do you think about that guy and that mentality on the same drunk tour now? You're at a big shed, it's hot, and all these people are digging what you're doing. Do you think about the old you on the stool, the guy that got dropped from two labels before, over a decade of that? Do you think about him?
There are certain moments, like one of our, for a while there, we would close a show with a song called Leela Stars. And it was about some thumbtacks that my daughter gave me to hold up the roof of our car. and
I
uh
remember that.
and and the I mean, honestly, man, now it's just emotional. I mean, I guess I just am filled with gratitude. I mean, I think of that guy, and he's not really different from the
Yeah,
dude, that's sitting up there now. And I mean, I honestly can tell you that, and that's a gift from God. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, Granger. Like, I I didn't know how much I didn't do this for the money or the fame or the fortune until we had all that. And I don't know what we have. Like,
mm,
I don't know how much money. I don't even know where it goes. My wife doesn't even. Like, we just have these awesome financial people who take care of it, and I hope they're
yeah,
not screwing me over. And if they
yeah,
are, whatever, dude. I hope they're good, and they can sleep with themselves knowing they're screwing us over. But they're not. I know they're not.
I know.
But my point is, all of that is just, I mean, it's good. I mean, I'm glad I don't have any debts or whatever, but I mean, I'm still just a guy who, my favorite thing besides my family every day is the song I'm working on today. I mean, I'm bored with the one from yesterday. I want to
Yep.
write the one today, and that's, again, I'm really grateful God made me that way. When I sing Leela Stars, what I was getting at, I do remember being smart enough to go, okay, this screw loose, in my brain, it's beginning to affect my family. Like, my kids have needs, and I'm not able to do those things. My wife, she's very happy, but this isn't the life. I don't think she has a kid. She was like, man, I hope I get to be a starving artist wife
Mm,
and homeschool 100 kids and not be able to buy bagels in the
yeah.
grocery. You know what I mean? Like, and honestly, Lainey never acted like that. I just remember being like frustrated at myself. This was fun. This was actually a funny moment. Is I would be like super mad at myself to that I would continue. Like, why would I be such a moron? Like, why would I
Yeah.
sign up for this? And then I would wake up with a song idea, scribbled on my hand, and I'd be like, "You idiot!" Kind of reminds me of that movie, Liar Liar, when he's trying to say the
Yeah.
pen is red and he's like covered in. It
Yeah.
was like, that's what would happen. I'd be like, "Hey, chasing this dream is dumb," and then I'd be like, "Song idea," and then, and
Yeah.
and it's just it just. I don't know. It just never, I could never outrun it.
I think I could speak for people in the audience right there in one of those sheds, same drunk tour. I think most people don't think you are connected with the older version of yourself. And I
Mm.
know that you are, though. What they don't know is you're on the stage every night thinking at some point, this is crazy. Wow.
Always.
I
Yeah.
can't believe this. And I wonder, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are there are like, man, he's just used to this. This is a job to him. He goes out here, just does this routine. And there are aspects of it that's true. But there are also all these moments when you remember the previous record deals. You remember the guy on the stool when no
Always.
one else was like you. And you go, this is actually happening right now.
Oh, nuts. I'd say every night. I mean,
Yes.
and you could probably relate with this, but like every amphitheater, every arena, um, every day, at some point in my mind, I think a thought to the effect of, man, I hope people show up. Like I hope,
Oh,
I hope people come. And then when you're sitting there, when you're singing one of your big bangers or whatever, you're just lost. You're just like, dang, man, and it's every night. It's an emotional, it's a, and you're right. You're right. I wouldn't imagine people think that I wonder that, at the pace, that we're flying around, right now. But yeah, it's the same, dude. You know,
it's the same
uh,
dude.
yeah.
So with as we record this Father's Day Sunday,
Huh,
and it say like 1995, the most popular gift you could get a dad would be a tie, right?
really?
Like that was the thing, that was the gift card that you'd get. It would have a like a tie on the
Yeah.
Hallmark card. So I'm kind of wondering with this whole J.C. Penney deal you got going on. You got any ties?
Nah.
You got ties? Walker Hayes ties?
No, man. I think dads and moms, dude, they're just more relaxed
They're
now.
very
You
much more
know,
relaxed.
dude, like I never saw my mom in like Lululemon leggings, and I never saw my dad not in a tie. It was,
Yeah, I
and
know.
so yeah,
That
but
was me too. So
yeah,
what made you get into this apparel game?
well, honestly, J.C. Penney, they reached out to me, and I'm so grateful they did. They were very upfront with me. They saw dad, which really, honestly, man, it kind of warmed my heart because like this has not been my whole journey has not been like a just me by myself,
Hmm.
on the stage thing. It's like I was saying, J.C. Penney recognized, this guy's not out there alone. He's taking his family with him, and they were interested in a Father's Day launch. And Granger, I gotta tell you, man, I mean, I'm not like I've never shopped in my life and liked it. Like my
Same,
mom, dude,
same.
my mom would be like, "Boys, it's time to do the outfit thing," and we were all like, "Son of a," like we were
Yeah.
so pissed. We were like, "Cause you got to go try on stuff," and I was like, "Dude, I
Yes,
don't
of
care.
course.
I don't care that my pants are up to my ankles. Like they look good." And mom was like, "No, we got to get new uniform clothes or whatever." And then the same thing with growing up. Laney finally was like, "All right, I'm just bring stuff home, and you can try it at home because I know you don't like to go to the fitting room and do the thing." And what's so nice is that J.C. Penney was like, "That's our market. Like that is men,
Mm,
and we like that you're like that, and we want you, you know, to put your input on these clothes." And so they really collaborated with me, and honestly they collaborated with the whole family.
mm.
I'd bring samples home and say, "I feel cool in this. It feels comfortable." Laney, you think I'm a stud in this shirt? Like, is this good? And we would,
Yeah.
each item. And dude, I'll tell you what else made, like, just to give you a sense of how personal they got with me. There's a jacket that I stole from my dad when I was probably like 19, and all of my brothers wanted it. And I came home from college and I just took it. I was like, I don't care, I'm taking it. And it's just a special jacket, and they recreated it. They were
Oh,
like, they were like, I noticed you always have this jacket. What's that about? And I told them, and they were like, and so they kind of recreated. It's a thinner version, but it looks identical. And they just kind of took my life and told a story with some of the items, and it's amazing. I mean, I love it. My sons, they all wanted their own set, which really, that warmed my heart. That was something my kids liked. But we put together a pretty incredible line, and it's very functional. It's very comfortable, and I think the ladies will like their men in it. It
dude,
makes you look good.
that is a rare story these days. I mean, usually
I know.
the guy makes the apparel line and then he doesn't even wear it himself.
Yeah.
So for you to
Well,
say that, it's crazy.
dude, I know, and that's the thing. I will say, look, some endorsements or collaborations are like, hey, here's a chunk of money, just can I put your name on it? But that was not the case with J.C. Penney. They're family. I mean, I hope we do more stuff together. But they were really, really kind, and they were so patient with me because, again, I'm just your typical. Who cares? Does it feel good? Then let's stop thinking about clothes. Like, I had enough stuff to think about all day,
Amen. Yeah.
and so I think this really is. It really is a good little Father's Day, gift. It's good stuff.
Bro, I love you, man. I don't know when I see you next. I just sometimes walk around a corner and there you are and I get to hug your neck. But
Ah,
I always love talking with you, man. And I just wish you the best. And I'm so excited to see all that you've done and continue to do and to involve your family as a dad. It's just
yes,
really,
sir.
it's inspiring, man.
Hey, man, good hanging with you, Granger. Good
You,
to
bro.
hear you. Good to
You
see
too.
your face, hear your voice.